Well, other than fighting with Jeff, I was excited to come back to work today because of our first guest. Fighting with Jeff? I miss fighting with Jeff. It's always a good time to reimagine your living space and add some tweaks to spruce things up. And our next guest follows all the home design trends. Of course she does. And has tips for all of us. Give it up for our good friend, Heather Fox from Fox Homes and Foxwell. Hello.
Hi.
We were talking about, love that.
I know, but I am digging this. Like, this is exactly what we need in January when it's awful outside.
That's what I thought.
We should all wear Hawaiian shirts.
Yes. Trying to bring a little, Okay, we always have you on at the top of the year to talk about new trends. Let me just ask you a broad one before we get into specifics.
Yeah.
Some years more than others, there's big shifts. There's big shifts in appliance trends and color trends. Is this one of those El Nino years? Or those,
That is a great question. I love this question.
Yeah.
Kind of. I would say one of the big things we're seeing is a shift in wood, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, you know, we'll get to, there's a tease ahead. Let's start with this. Arches and curves, what do you mean?
Okay, so arches and curves have been in for a few years now, but I think now it's like truly mainstream. Where any furniture store you go into, Target even, has tons of things with arches and curves. So you can see that, that's a curved sofa where it kind of curves around. Curved furniture was huge in the 60s and the 70s, and it's coming back. Here's a curved like wallpaper niche. This is really easy to do with paint as well. So if you kind of want to incorporate it into your own space, we've got arched mirrors. So this is not even a DIY that you just hang a mirror.
Yeah.
This is an old closet that we turned into a bar, and we decided to create a little arch there.
And this is one of those things where an archway, even if it goes off trend, it's never going to be gaudy or ugly.
No.
It's always going to be, am I right on that?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a pretty classic thing, really. You're just seeing it more now. Yeah, it's kind of making a comeback.
That closet converted to
Isn't
a
that
bar.
cool?
I love that.
Oh yeah, the before and after that one's so fun.
Textured and moody paint.
Ooh.
I love the term moody paint.
Ooh, the moody rooms are in. So we're talking like not just painting walls, we're painting ceilings and we're painting trim as well. The same dark color, kind of creating almost like this great cave kind of feel. It's pretty fun. Here's an example that's just an accent wall. This is that textured paint I was talking about. So we're seeing it trend a lot in the DIY world where people are kind of creating their own. But here, I like to not have to DIY everything.
Yeah.
So that paint's called Portola. You can actually buy it with the texture. And then there's a special technique that you put it on, but it is so cool. It feels so moody. This is just an example of kind of a dated buffet, painting it dark and giving it kind of new life, making it again a little bit moody.
That is beautiful. That buffet
cool?
is gorgeous. What color was that before? Do you remember?
It was just like a light wood.
Really?
Yeah, but not a pretty wood. Like there's pretty wood
I know.
that we don't like to paint, and then there's wood that are like, we're okay to paint that.
Well, you set me up perfectly because next, woods. We told you we were going to be talking about it. Darker wood tones.
We're seeing it come back. I feel like for a while it was all light woods, right? If you're scrolling Instagram, you're going to see white oak, white oak, white oak, white oak cabinets. We're now starting to trend a little darker. And we're seeing it not only in kitchens, but we're also seeing it in furniture pieces. So even just like side tables and things like that you can really inexpensively and easily incorporate into your home. This is walnut. Walnut, I think, is a really timeless wood. It's so beautiful. And this is kind of the natural tone of what that looks like.
But what I'm noticing is, it's not like back in the 70s, if you did the wood, you did it everywhere.
Yeah.
What I'm noticing is, there's still some white cabinetry with the wood accents. Am I picking up on that?
I feel like you're a design expert here,
well, I'm
Jason.
trying to. I've been in the sun a lot. I don't know about, But
totally.
That is a
You're
change
totally
from like the
right.
70s and 80s.
Yeah.
What the hell was it? Okay, sorry about that. Our studio's been possessed since I've left. Yeah. But no, so if you're going to do a darker wood, you don't have to redo all your cabinets.
Totally. No, not at all. And in fact, again, I don't even think it needs to be in cabinetry, right? We don't need to commit to something so huge. Maybe try it just in some furniture pieces or, a coffee table, something like that.
Embracing color.
Oh gosh, this has been, I would say, in for the last few years. I think the pandemic was the big shift for people. They were like, you know what? I want to love my home. I want to live in it. This is where people spent so much time and still are. Many people work from home, right?
Yep.
So I think people are finding what they truly love, what colors they truly love, and bringing it in. So here, this is like a green buffet. Instead of just going with a, classic color, bringing in some other things with pillows. This is a crazy one, rainbow backsplash. But guess what? It's stunning.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and in person, it's so pretty. This one's we kept all the walls white and neutral, and the color came in the sofa. And it's still, I think green is enough of a neutral color where it's gonna be timeless as well. Same with this here, going green just with paint. Again, moody, we could say, right?
And the curved furniture. And finally, vintage rugs.
Yeah, vintage rugs are huge. I think that it's a really easy way to kind of bring a little bit of like color and life into your space. It could be just a small little like mat in front of even in front of a sink in like a half bathroom or a bathroom. And that's a fun way. There's so many options for colors. You can find them for about $100 and easy to bring in just a little bit of like life and vintage vibes.
And especially if you have a lot of white walls, it's a great way to put a little pop of.
Yeah, and then it's easy to move around. If you're like, oh, I'm sick of it in here, I'm going to move it over there, right?
Well, we're going to move over to the couch because speaking of things that bring pop, Brad's here too. That's right. Brad's going to join us when we return. Back in a moment, everyone. Stay with us. Okay, we'll move over there. Welcome back. We are back. Adding some pop. Look, Brad's here now to add some pop, everybody. It's time to talk real estate. We talked design, and now we're going to talk about real estate. Rates have dropped. What? Am I reading that right?
Exactly. Like, thankfully.
Yeah.
So we were at up to 7.25. Now we're just below 6. Now, never know. Could go back up. Don't want to, but that's movement.
Yeah, this ain't Squawk Box, everybody.
Yeah,
I mean,
right. But it happened. Everyone's responding. It's a spring market, perfect timing. But that also means things are starting to heat up.
So we could have been I remember like about a month or two ago, people could calm down and not race to the next house. That's picking back up again.
Well, and we talked about this
last
time we were here, and I warned everybody. I warned you guys. And I'm here, I'm back, I'm warning you again. No, really, but like it's going to heat up. It's absolutely going to heat up. So prices are going to rise, competition's going to rise.
Because next on my card it reads, buying power is here now.
It's now, though.
Like right now.
Like right now. In the spring, once March comes, April, it's going to be insane. You're going to have to be multiple offers on every home. You're going to probably have to give up your inspection. All the things we saw last spring and all last year and the last few years are coming back. We had a little lull when we were saying, okay, get out there, look at houses. It's going to come back now.
Okay, now let's say folks are watching and they want to renovate or build. What's your tips for them?
Yeah, well, we always say like plan.
Yes.
Yeah.
The reason we say plan, first of all, is because it's for your sake. You want to plan because you want to know every detail of what you're going to get and for how much, and so you have control over the project, right? So
much planning.
Yeah, so much
Plan
planning.
now.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating, and there are some builders out there that'll just say, okay, yeah, let's just do this for $300,000 and we'll do all our selections later. Well, that doesn't go in your favor. What you want is all the details, all the pricing, which takes planning. So now that it's January and it's kind of cold and everyone's kind of sitting around, like this is the perfect time to be planning so that when the thaw comes, the better weather comes, we can build something for you in much better weather.
Okay. I'm hearing now. I always try to think, okay, what's the viewer saying at home?
Yeah.
They're hearing this, and I know my brother-in-law owns a plumbing business, and I always hear about the price of goods. Normally in my business, it's not an area I would hear about, but I do hear about the price of goods.
Yep.
What's happening with that?
So the good news is I would say they've stabilized, and that's a selective word because they're not necessarily dropping, but they're not going crazy anymore. Across the board, it's hard to say. Certain things pop up here and there, complicated, but things have stabilized, which means control, which means at least you know what you're paying for, what you're going to get, when you're going to get it, things like that.
Because I remember being at family gatherings and hearing from my brother-in-law, a plank of wood's like $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, yeah.
It was insane. And then it was $1 million, and then like, oh, hey, we just got to notice that it's actually $2 million.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I'm sorry,
and
go
the
on.
availability to actually get stuff as well.
Yes.
So that was the other problem before,
You
not
led me
just
right to
pricing.
timelines are normalizing.
Yeah.
But what does that mean?
Yep. Like you're the plumber, right? The plumbers work has come down a little bit because rates went up and less people are doing projects. So that made a few more people available. Everything's just more consistent. So when we schedule a job out, we actually can schedule the job out and deliver that schedule to the customer, and it works. So people are a little more available. The costs are a little more controllable. So. Yeah.
What is happening to our studio?
Let's go to Hawaii.
Let's just go back to Hawaii. Audience, I'm taking you. Come on. The studio's possessed. We're out of here. I know you don't have a crystal ball, but you've been right on everything you've predicted here on the show. All of this good news, do you see it changing within the next 6 months or so?
I think that's what everyone's watching right now.
Yeah.
We know there's going to be a good spring. There's always a good spring in Minnesota because, finally things thaw. People are just feeling more, all right, let's go do this. I think spring is going to be crazy. Summer will be normal, and then fall, winter from there. I think there's, right now the economy all the reports seem to be like, okay, we're under control. If that changes, who knows? But for now, don't be discouraged though. Get out there now in January and not in March or April. That's my only advice is,
Plan.
Yes,
Give it up for Brad and Heather, everybody. Visit their amazing store, Foxwell and Edina, and at foxwell.com. We're going to take a break. I'm taking you to Hawaii when we come back. Back in a moment. That was great. I know, let's go.